I'm stitching a sweater for my niece. These are the tools I'm using here, and they now come together as a set on my site. I also sell these silicone needle grippers, which are very handy, and I'm using a bulky yarn. I'm going to peel my design from the paper. I just printed this in my regular printer. Now, it can be tricky to thread a needle with yarn, so I have this hook threader, and you stick it through the eye of the needle. Place your yarn on top, and instead of just tugging it through, you want to kind of turn and pull, and it comes through more smoothly. I'll slow it down here so I kind of turn at an angle and pull it through. Take the hook off, and your tail will come through, and then you're going to knot the other end. Really, any kind of knot at the very end. And then I'm going to use a chain stitch here. So you come up through the fabric, pulling it all the way through, and then you insert your needle right down next to where you came up, pull that through and leave a loop, straighten it out here, and then you go about 1/2 inch up and pull that through the loop, and then pull your loop tight and repeat. So you insert your needle back down into the loop right next to where you came up, create another loop, come up in that loop. Now occasionally the needle seems to get stuck, but I do recommend wiggling it around and pulling at an angle, and it will work the fibers apart so that you can pull the needle through. You don't want to just keep pulling it straight out. And you continue this process. Here again, I kind of wiggle it through, and then it kind of pops through once I get it at an angle. And continue on like that. And you continue just to follow that. And then when you get to a place where you're going to be crossing over your lines, this is the last stitch before it crosses over. Now I'm going to insert my needle down in there, make a loop, and then I come up in the middle of the loop again. And this time it just happens to be right in the middle of those previous stitches. And that's okay. I basically just work over top of them. It crosses over the top and the stitches overlap just like that. Now when your thread gets too short, you're going to send it down on the outside of one of the loops, and then flipping over your work, you're going to run your needle under one of the nearby stitches, create a loop, and then take your needle through that loop 2 times, and then pull it tight, and that will create an ending knot. Snip it off, and then keep going where you left off. So here I go again, angling the hook to get my thread through. Tie your knot again, however you want to do it, and then you're going to bring your needle up inside that last loop again and continue on until the end. Then on your last stitch, insert your needle on the outside of that last loop and tie it off again in the back. I wanted to create some designs for sweaters that had letters instead of whole names for little kids, because I just think that's a bit safer. So I went ahead and drew the entire alphabet, so you can now find that as a PDF download on my site. Make sure to follow me and stay tuned for the rest of the design.